This guy claims that if you read his book, you'll be able to make your first millions. Hello everyone, this is Javid and you're watching my high performance journey episode number 2. October 20, day 2, ready for run. In this episode, I'm going to do a review of a book titled Your First 100 Billion by Dan Penas. Now, Dan Penas is a very controversial man. He is a personal development coach. He lives in a castle in Scotland and he gives out his mentorship program for over $15,000. Yes, you heard it right. He's a very expensive personal development coach, and his ideas sometimes are out there, too much out there. He's using bad words, swear words, and he's like a person, like a man he's a military man, and he's like a wake-up call for you. And he's totally against the idea that the world is all about rainbows and sunshine, and personal development is like motivating yourself and thinking positive and etc. He's more a reality-prone businessman. He'll make you wake up, he'll kick your ass sometimes, he'll tell you that you're a loser, you're a bullshit or whatever. He'll say bad words just to wake you up and make you take action. He's all about action.
Because after 46 years and teaching you morons for 23 years, you want to take the easy way out. Because you think life is a journey. That is horseshit. Life's a journey if you're a moron and you're retarded.
Now this book, when I read reviews about his book, Your First 100 Million, I did a search on the internet. I realized that it's a very expensive book. It's sold on Amazon and eBay for over $900. Yes, $900 for a personal development book was too much for me, and I didn't believe that it has the value that it says it has, because he claims that you don't need to read. In fact, one of his controversial ideas is like, if you want to be successful, you don't need to read much. All you have to do is to take action. And he says, even if you're stupid, you read my book, Your First 100 Billion, and you take action, do what the book says, you'll be able to make millions. Now, this made me be super skeptical about this book, and I found a way to download a PDF of that book. I printed it out, I binded it. As you see, I didn't buy his book, I binded it, and I made a book out of it. And if you're interested, I may be able to share with you the PDF of the book. Obviously, write to me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, and I can find a way to send you the book. I do recommend this book to all my friends, because the moment I started reading it, I realized that this book has tons of value to provide. Even though Dan Penas has controversial ideas, there are several ideas I don't agree of him, but I understood that this book has tons of value, and I decided to make it my table book for the next months, because I have to go over and over to read it. Now, without further ado, let's go to the review of the book, because I don't want to take any more of your time. Now, I will divide this book into 2 parts. First part is all about the ideas, the mindset, the framework that you have to come if you want to be successful. And he calls it super success. If you want to be super successful, there are certain behaviors, there are certain mindsets that you have to shift in your brain and change your approach towards the life if you want to be successful. So the first part of the book is all about that lifestyle, that mindset, that approach and attitude towards success that you have to change. The second part, however, is a more practical aspect of the book. He goes step by step how you're supposed to start your venture, how you're supposed to start your business, how to do negotiations, how to talk and meet with your board of directors, how to find one, how to find mentors, and etc. He goes step by step through the process of you starting your company, building it, taking up ventures, and taking action towards making a successful business. Now, I made these notes of this book. They're a bit screwed right now. I made notes. And I personally believe that the first part of the book is more valuable to me because I don't have a business right now that I'm planning to grow and to apply all those principles that Dan Penas says to your business. But what I do have that I want to change my life, I want to become super successful, and they're very useful belief systems or approaches or changes that I can apply to my life as well to become successful. Now, without further ado, let's start with the review of the book. Now, he's got controversial ideas, and one of the ideas that I really liked about him, I mean, obviously, this is controversial to me as well, but I did like it, and it made me think, let's say. He's saying that controversial wisdom about success is total lie. Now, what he means by that, he's saying that the modern makes fun of the modern personal development gurus, personal development coaches that say that balance your work and personal life. Or they say that list 10 good things about yourself and stick it in front of the mirror, like positivity things. Or he says, set achievable goals to not to be disappointed. Now he makes fun of it. He makes you wake up that, listen guys, the world is not as beautiful, like, or it's not butterflies. You can't stick your head to the sand and think that your body is safe as well. The world, and especially the business world, is a very tough place to live in. If you want to abide by those laws, if you want to be successful there, you have to improve yourself mentally and physically both. And so he says, like, this is bullshit. He calls it bullshit. That he says, if you want to be successful in your business, you have to pay price to action. And what he calls pay price to action is that to achieve a goal, you must take action that requires you to pay the price in some other area. So it doesn't believe in work and personal life balance. It says if you want to be super successful, if you set a goal, if you want to achieve that goal, you have to concentrate and focus on that goal. You don't balance anything, pay 100, 120, 150% of your attention into that field if you want to be successful. Second good idea that I really like, he says, take risks. If you don't take risks, you're not going to be successful. Risk is necessary for the growth. Without risks, all you will be is a potato, right? If you do not take risks, to grow, you will shrink. And then another good idea that I really loved, he talks about failure a lot. He says, like, never fear the failure. And he calls failure is false evidence appearing real. And he talks about his life in that part. He says that he, during his career, he made over 75,000 decisions, and all it takes is 5,000 of them to be successful decisions for you to be successful. You have to make as many approaches as you want. You can like do something as many times as you want, and all it takes few of your actions to be successful for you to become successful. And then he calls the sure formula for failure is trying to please everyone. That's the common mistake. Like, if you are doing something, don't try to please everyone. Just please the people that are worth your attention. If you please everyone, most people actually don't care, don't give a damn about what you're doing. So just focus on pleasing yourself. Just focus on your own ideas, on your own thoughts. And then he says, as a high performance person, you have to have the confidence in your judgment and stand by whatever decision you are making. Another idea he's claiming is like idea number 3, let's call it, listen to your intuition and gut feeling. Now, he says that intuition is a primary survival thing. And most of these business guys, they're excelling everything. They're overthinking their action plan. They're overthinking and thinking. And he says that you have to listen to your intuition most of the times or sometimes. Intuition is a primal instinct. It tells you what to do or not. And he gives an example. He says, like, imagine you are in a party and there's this really hot girl. She's talking to you, flirting with you, touching you. You are not going to go back to your office and start excelling what this meant, what's happening, whatever. Your gut feeling is going to tell you that she's interested in you and you have to do something about it. Very good example, like, struck me immediately. And the idea, part of his book talks about forget what others think. Too many worry too much about what other people think rather than worry or think about their own decision. or the wisdom of their decision. So he says most successful people don't give a damn what other thinks of them. And he says that high performer measures risks and makes decision and takes action. He doesn't waste time on other people. And another idea, he says that never look back. No, he talks about high performance people. If you're a high performance person, you're not going to think that I went to a shop, I bought a certain product, let's say iPhone 8 or iPhone X, and come back home overthinking, oh, iPhone X would be a better decision or whatever. He's a high performance person, never looks back, and he calls it terminal buyer's remorse. The item that they didn't purchase was better to buy. Have the confidence in your ability to make decisions and keep your eyes on your goal. Never look back. If you have a goal, keep your eyes on your goal and don't stop until you achieve your goal. And he summarizes everything that pay price to action, take risks, don't risk failure, listen to your intuition, avoid other people, what other people think, ignore the conventional wisdom. Don't try to make this world beautiful, butterflies, only positivity. No, you have to sometimes understand that the world is a harsh place. You have to take action, and it's not always you feeling positive or happy. It's more about your dedication, about your commitment to your goals. And the second chapter, in another chapter, he talks about don't drift in the mainstream conformity. Begin with expectations of super success. This part I absolutely love, and I'm trying right now to implement in my life. And then he says that keep your expectations super high. Now, if you want to successful, and this is more towards the business, if you want to be successful in a business and you don't know what you're going to do, he says that create an order from chaos. Find an industry which is in chaos at the moment, go in and bring order to that industry. If you're able to do that, you're going to be super successful. Your company is going to be super successful. Another idea that that part I'm lacking. I'm not a businessman. I don't have experience in business for the moment, and some of the ideas are very new to me, and therefore I decided that I'm going to go over and over, read this book to understand more deeper. He calls this OPM, leverage other people's money. He says if you want to be really successful in a business, you have to be able to leverage other people's money, and let's say like to go public with your company, and or get yourself get yourself sponsorship deals, or investors, find investors and use their money to get exponential growth in your business. Make money for yourself and for your investors as well. And create a habit of decision making. This is really important to make important decisions, and I definitely, the moment I read it, I decided I'm going to apply it. Now, as being a Libra, I had this problem that I'm asking too much, questions. Should I wear blue or pink or red or yellow, or blue or white? Which t-shirt should I wear? Which restaurant should we go? I'm asking for opinions. And then he says, no, take the responsibility and make the decisions yourself. And call yourself every time you're stuck between two decisions. It's like, is this Sophie's choice? Is anyone's life depending on it? Think, will anybody die as a result of my decision? If not, if it's not Sophie's choice, he calls it that way. If the answer is no, make the decision immediately. And then he says, listen to legitimate warnings. Let's say you want to open a restaurant, like you want to start a business, and everyone is going to give you ideas, your friends, your family, and everyone, right? But successful people don't care what Aunt Rudy's thinking, or Uncle Dom is thinking, whatever. Now, successful people will only take advice from, and he advised that only take advice from person who's 10, 20 years ahead of you, who's done what you're doing already, and who's been there and done that, he calls it. And he says, keep your eye on your vision and you won't see the obstacles this way. So listen to the people, don't listen to your friends who's advising you, oh, do this, do that, who haven't been there, who haven't done that business. Listen to the people who only have the specific expertise that you're looking for. And then he talks about high performers. The high performer is passionate, he's obsessed with the revenues, obsessed with the money, obsessed with the achievement, obsessed with the success. Listen to only those people, and be that person. If you want to be successful, you have to have the passion, the inner fire inside you towards that goal. And then he talks about really crazy idea that get comfortable with high performance. Now, this was key to me. He says, before being successful in a certain goal, act, walk, do what the super successful, what the person, what the version of you would act if you were successful. So he says that success is as frightening as failure, and you have to get used to success before, if you want to be super rich, or you want to have that, let's say Lamborghini or Rolls Royce. And he gives an example that before he was successful, he went to a Rolls Royce store, he sat in the car, he smelled the leather. He advises everyone to do that. Just feel what it means to be successful and act and walk and talk, behave as if you are already there at your goal point if you want to be successful. And get used to that success, get used to that feeling that you're already there at that point by behaving, acting and talking as if you were there. And then he's got this really cool part he calls the 5 credos of success. First credo he calls that yesterday's dreams are today's reality. This means that today's dreams are tomorrow's reality. A second, he says that see your dream ahead of time now. Don't just talk about dreaming, dream about everything. Dream about super successful business deal, about the ideal house, about the ideal car. Now, I really love this idea of him. He says that success is not for everyone. And then he explains that 90% of people don't even think of being successful, don't even believe that they would be successful. Therefore, they will never ever achieve success. If you don't dream about something, how are you going to achieve that dream? It's idea crazy one. And then 3, that he's saying practice within, then you are without. So what he means by this is practice being super successful. Learn to think, act, and behave like a high performance person. You will become one if you do that. So you will be ready to act when the doorway or the opportunity opens up. And he says many successful people have practiced it. He gives an example of Bill Clinton, that when he was at high school, they went to visit White House, and there he met J.F. Kennedy. And since that moment, he started practicing that I'm going to be the president one day. And eventually he achieved that dream. And he says, if you want to be a chairman of a board, start by chairing a committee of activity. So it's if you want to achieve something, start by taking that responsibility. If you want to be chairman of a committee, start by chairing your local whatever activity or committee or whatever. Whether it is in your civic club, church, volunteer, assume the responsibility of that position that you want to get in. Practice being the chairperson until you are finally appointed or elected. You will discover quickly that when you want to work, when you want to achieve that goal or want to take responsibility in any organization, everyone moves gingerly out of your way so you can do it. You want the job? Be my guest. So most people don't seek more responsibility, more work, more success. If you are already seeking that, it means you're going to get there. And said the fourth point is that active, there are no limits to your potential. And this is absolutely true. There is no limit of what a human being can do. Don't put limits on yourself. Always be pursuing a mega project. You don't sell yourself short. You can do that. You have no limits. And repeat the mantra. Is you can literally achieve and do anything. And then it talks about enthusiasm, the importance of being enthusiastic, and he talks about this word, that ethos. It's a Greek word from etheos, enthusiasm, and it means the God within you. And enthusiasm generates the passion, the energy and determination to succeed that is absolutely necessary to achieve high performance. And then he's got a lot of tons of valuable ideas in this book. I do certainly recommend. One of the ideas is having mentors, and the mentors should be people that are more successful than you are, that have been where you are at the moment, have passed through that, pushed through that, and have more experience than you are. He's like, it's absolutely walking in the on the shoulders of giants. It's absolutely necessary to have mentors if you want to succeed. So go ahead and find mentors. That's step one. And if you like this book, don't hesitate to message me if you want to get that book. I'll be able to provide you, help you. I'm not going to put the link here, but you can find me on Facebook and DM me. I'll be happy to share with you this book. Go ahead and find, or if you're willing to pay $900 or $500 or whatever price you find it on Amazon or eBay, go get this book. It's absolutely worth reading. And I will be, as I said, reading this book over and over again. If I find some more valuable ideas, I may do a second review of the second part of the book. I don't know yet, but I hope you like this video. Please comment, share what you think of Dan Pena, his ideas, and yes, see you on episode 3. Cheers. Thank you very much.